Now, Effective Communication with Phil Zeller, CEO, Dale Carnegie, Southwest Michigan.
How are you coming across today? Are you getting results? Are you getting the feedback you want to hear? Are you being appreciated? You feeling the love today? You should. You should. You know, it's amazing how many times I ask people in my career here if they're happy and if they're appreciated and they feel appreciated. And so few people are. So few people are, and few people feel that they are, and it's such a simple gift that we can give others. So let me start by saying today, I appreciate that you're here with me right now, because you could be anywhere and you're here. So let me start by saying I appreciate you because you're here with me, and we're going to share some quality time together here today. Oftentimes people will go give a presentation, or they'll stand up and speak at a meeting at work, or they'll share some ideas, and it takes a lot of confidence to share. We do know that public speaking is still the number one fear in America, if not the world, and realizing that public speaking can be scary. And why is it scary? Because our mind's going in 10 different directions, and what are these people going to think, and why are they going to think it? And we're really concerned about how other people view us. And so today I want to share with you some things to think about and to put this into context to make it a little bit easier. Would you like to make it easier? Sure you would. Make it easier, because people often ask me, they come off a stage, they've given a big presentation, and they say, how'd I do? How'd I do, Phil? How'd I do? And I've had the opportunity to coach a lot of professionals, politicians, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies on how to give their presentations in front of large audiences and really have impact. And they always want to know how they did to the end. Well, let's help you out with going into it. What would you want to know? What is your audience going to want? What are they going to evaluate you on? So let's talk about how they're going to evaluate you, because they will, and it's human nature. And as I said, that's the reason people are scared of public speaking, is because they're going to evaluate me. And yep, dang Skippy, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to they're going to evaluate you and decide whether they enjoyed listening to you or not. And so it's going to happen. So you have to deal with that. Yes, it's a fact of having to communicate. So once you've got that down, okay, we're good. They're going to evaluate. Now we want them to evaluate you in a good way. You with me on this? Yes, you got this. So there are 4 different ways that people are going to evaluate you. Your audience is going to validate you or evaluate you in 4 different ways. And it's the way that you have contact with the world. It's the way all of us have contact with the world. And this is what Dale Carnegie found, is how are we perceived and how people perceive us. And when they evaluate us, they're classified by these 4 areas: what we do, how we look, what we say, and how we say it. And let's start with the first one, what we do. What we do. People, when you're giving a presentation or you're talking, or today you're listening to the show and you're saying, okay, what's Phil doing as he's talking with me? Is he engaged in this? What does he do? What does his action speak? What has he done? And it's really figuring out what people have done. It's kind of like when you vote for somebody who's a politician and they run for election, they make all these campaign promises. And they make those promises on the campaign trail, but when they're in office, do they actually deliver on them? Because their actions speak louder than words, right? What did they actually do? They promised to do all these things. Did they do them, yes or no? So people are going to evaluate you on what you do. That's a given. The next thing they're going to evaluate is on how we look. And it's interesting because a lot of times people say, well, it doesn't matter how I look. Well, yeah, it does. It does. Because if you say it doesn't matter how you look, then what you're saying is you don't care how you look because it's your preference and you don't care what other people think. I hear you. You have a right to do that. Free country. In our country, you're free. You're free to express yourself any way you want. That's great. The question is, how is your audience going to evaluate you? And are they going to see it the same way you see it? Maybe, maybe not. You don't know. So the best thing we can do is think about our audience, think about the subject matter, and are we honoring them with the way that we're dressed and the way that we're looking and when we're influencing them? Do we honor them and what they expect to see? And it could be different. So it's based on your audience, right? You're going to dress accordingly in the way that you look and the way that you groom yourself for the audience you're speaking to. The next thing is what we say. Ask yourself the question, are you optimistically inclusive and results focused in your communication or not? Can everybody be on this ride with you? Do they all feel like they're part of it? Because they should, because they're your audience. So you want to make sure you're inclusive and your message is positive, optimistic, and people can get on board. And lastly, how we say it. Are you passionate about what you choose to talk about? Does it show when you're talking? Can people sense that, you really feel strongly about this? Because realistically, what we're looking for in our life is we're looking for passion. We're looking for people that want to make a difference. We're looking for people that say, wow, I like what that person said. I like that point they made because I can get on board with that. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. So let that passion shine through. So remember, evaluation is a good thing if you let it be and you prepare for it by what we do, how we look, what we say, and how we say it. And if you prep for your communications that way, you will have much more success on having the impact you choose to have. Now go make it happen.